Shabbos here.
When it gets real cold. Okay. So where do we go here from here now? Up to 5 days we did the Gemara pretty well.
We ended up finishing the Gemara to the Mishnah.
Not to the Mishnah. Till the Mishnah we did one time very fast. We did one count. If you remember, I'd like to get to that one too. So let's go to the, even though, I think the Nisan, but you go to Rivan, all right? I'll do a one little, well, maybe even the last two places on the page, and then we'll go to the Rivan, a long road Rivan. We'll see, we'll try. The Gemara now ends up the Gemara. So what do we have so far? We have that the reason why the Mishnah, we have all these different cases. The Gemara doesn't have an answer to that. Or it just says that the Gemara could have mentioned any of these cases.
Right.
And then the last one was the case of Shvuah, which the Gemara said, you don't have to worry about Shvuah, because saying Shvuah, Chal Shvuah, Mushbah, Ba'im, Mahar Sinai. The Gemara says, yeah, but you could do it through making a Shvuah, not to do plowing and Yontif and Chol. So the Gemara thought one way of answering that question, that we're not talking about cases which have Shayla. The Gemara says, yeah, but what about Hektish? It's a Bechor. Yeah, but what about Nazir? Nazir Shimshin. No, Nazir Shimshin is a lot of Tamil Mason. So that can't be the case over here in the Mishnah. And the Gemara says, the reason why we didn't say the case of Shvuah, because the Tan of the Mishnah does not hold of the din of Kolel. Remember that?
Yes.
Good, okay.
Even though you're adding an Isser.
Even though you're adding more things, that become Isser the other days, but Yontif is not being affected.
Right.
The original thing that was wanted to be Chal on is not Mosif on that, correct?
Our time doesn't hold it.
Okay. So now the Gemara goes further. The Gemara says, my Rebbe, there's a brand new thing. Rebbe, my Via Shor Psuli Abigdoshin Loikishnai. If you mix breed a Shor Psuli Abigdoshin with another Psuli Abigdoshin, you'll get double Malchus. What's the reason? Well, what's a Psuli Abigdoshin? Okay, let's just review that. What's a Psuli Abigdoshin again?
Psuli Abigdoshin.
It was, you gave it to Hektish.
What you gave it?
An
I
animal.
dedicated an animal to Hektish,
And
then
it was
you were
fit for a carbon.
And at the time it was fit for a carbon, and you were
Then it
marking
got-
it as a carbon.
Kedusha Saguf.
It has a Kedushas Aguf. What's the other name called? If I mark a table, what's that called? Kedushas.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Kedushas Damen.
Can you give me another name for it? No, you can't.
We
Kedushas Bedek Habayis. Did you know that?
Yeah, Bedek Habayis is the
Bedek
Hektish.
Habayis. It was used
The
to
trust.
fix up the house,
Right,
maintenance stuff. Okay.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Kedushas Aguf.
Kedushas
They
Aguf.
gave it a Kedushas Aguf. So what's the problem? So what did they do?
Before it was going to be brought to the Mizbeach.
What happened?
Had a mum.
Had a mum. You're right. You gotta feel that way. So now I know it's supposed to. I don't know. So what do you do now? It has a mum.
So the gentleman, you're paited, no?
Someone can be paid. So now it belongs to Hektish. Hektish puts it up for sale. Anybody want a Psuli Doshin? Yeah. Okay. Now what's it? So he's paid it. So now what happens now? Anything? Now it's it. It's
So you
off.
can't eat. The only thing you're allowed to do with it is eat it.
Yeah, what can you not do?
You can't work it. You
No work
can't,
I know.
You can't breed it. You can't
can't
have
breed
any
it.
enough from it. Yes.
That's all. And you can't
Well,
milk it. You can't even milk
If you
it.
could eat it, then
You give it
have
to your dog.
No.
Your dog also not.
So why eating?
So why are you letting
Passing in the Torah. Passing
Ah,
in the Torah
okay,
says
okay.
you do it without cheltem. You're allowed to eat it. That's what it says.
But isn't it like hard to? I asked you this the other day
Why?
because I see it. You're eating the piece of meat, and your dog comes over to you.
He's worried about his dog. I'm telling you.
No, but it happens. It's like it's a normal.
Yeah, well,
anyone has a dog.
Don't feed it when your dog's around. That's all. No, that's all. You're not allowed.
Just eat it when your dog's around.
That's right. Don't feed yourself. Okay. Marvia. So Marvia. So now you get two psulim doshin, and you want to breed them.
Right.
Then you're doing two isurim. What's the isur?
Client.
Fine, right? You're mixing them.
Client. Well, that's the Yisr actually. The Yisr is a
Right,
double
Harvia
climb.
Sharp Suli, it's
It doesn't say not let it mix breeding, by the way. There's no Yisr mixed
not a
breeding.
double climb, it's a climb,
Thought
but
we
it's,
said-
even though it's still a
Didn't
climb.
we say you can't breed them?
No, I don't think we said that you can't breed them.
I remember.
Didn't we say it about also Hilkach also Harvia Mafilu in Minoi Mishum Klayim Shemarvia Kulit. No, he doesn't say that it's also. It's also to mix breed them because of the problem of what? Of climbing, right? But there's not problem because there's an issue to mix breed a Psulim Mikdoshim. The problem is climb. There's no issue to
climb.
say. The issue is climb. That's the issue. What's a climb? Because this half is living with that half. With that half, you got
There's a half of it that may be chulin.
both of them have a half that
Maybe
is
it's
not
chulin.
maybe. It
That
is half
chulin.
and half.
Right.
Right? And if you're breeding the half of the chulin with the half of the kutch from the other side, not allowed to do it. And does he say that also? You're not even allowed to go with the animal. You can't even that
Wow.
one animal, because it's a shor v'chamor. This one animal is a shor and a
Right.
chamor at the same time, so to speak. It's two different species. We'll find this out in the Yitzhak the Revam and Taisus. We'll see that. Since you weren't here, we decided to continue to the next sugya, Nisim, and therefore later we'll get to the Revam. We'll do this next sugya already. So he says, so it's also a ma'aviyah, shor, psuli, amikdosh, and you get like time, because on each animal, you are what? You are ma'aviyah part to the other animal. Okay. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak. Hamanit b'shor, psuli, amikdoshim. If you lead, which means leading itself is really not an aver, means you're leading it doing work, right? For instance, it has a burden on its back, and now you lead it. So what you're doing is you're making the shor psul midoshin work, which you're not allowed to do, right? But besides that problem, you have the problem that it's a client, right? You're making the shor and chamor work. Like you get malchus. Why? Sharei guf echod hu. So of course because it's really one body. And the Torah made it into two because it made it it has certain dinim of chulin, you're allowed to eat it, certain things of kachin, you're not allowed to do certain things with it, right? So it's like two. That's what Rashi says, right? And the Rivon asks a kasha on it is whoever heard of that chulin and kachin is klayim zeh. Davar Tema who said it's a davar Tema, right? That's right. So let's see the Rivam inside on this business. On Maviyah, we have the place.
Yeah.
Last little line, so you should appreciate it, because after that we're going to triple the size of the line.
Should we just read it in the Gemara so that when we read it in the Rashi, just that part?
Well, we did that. You want to say it again?
Amar Haishim.
Marviyah, sharp, sulim, and is like a schneid. You get a double malchus. So, back to the Rashi.
Hamarvia, the translation is
Marviyah is a breed.
you breed, okay.
When you breed a sharp, sulim, and Shenifte, what does it mean? The sharp sulim, and you were paided. Afilu al minoi. And now it's going back on the Marviyah. Even though you were paided, right? And even if you are breeding it with its own thing, its own psulim mikdashim,
Is that what it means?
Afilu alminu, even if it's a shor and a shor, that's what it means.
No,
That's
you
what
said.
it really means. I'm sorry. It means its own type of an animal.
Right, no, you said psulim.
I'm sorry, I was wrong.
You mean a regular cow?
Right, when its own cow, it's also like a mishum guf echad, because it's a guf echad, but so a kosev shnei gufim. Granted, it's one animal, and therefore it's a shor. It's the same shor as the one that you're breeding it with. Nevertheless, the Torah called it two different animals. The Torah's chulin for Torah's kachim yei sholov, because it has a din of Torah's kachim and also Torah's chulin yei sholov. Torah's chulin, how are you going to see it's like it has a din of a chulin animal. Shemuta b'achila, you're allowed to eat it. Michutz lePesach oil mayed, even though normally a korban has to be eaten if it's a certain type of a korban. Let's say it would have been a chatas, you'd have to eat it inside the oil mayed itself, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's kachim kalim, which he doesn't mention that, it had to be eaten within the Chaynos Yerushalayim. So it has certain restrictions, right? This one doesn't have those restrictions. Ki'ilu lo hubdish ma'olam. It's as if it didn't have any kedusha at all, and you could eat this animal wherever you want to eat it. But the Torah is kachim, she'osur b'giza v'avoda, but it has certain restrictions as if it would be kodesh. You're not allowed to shear it. You're not allowed to work with it. Can I be separate? B'chol avas nafshecha, because the Torah says by psulei hamikdashim, whatever you want to do, tizbach v'ochalta, slaughter it and eat it. So what does it mean? Whatever you want to do, it means wherever you want to eat it, you could eat it, right? V'ochalta bosar, b'meh hakosim medaber. What is the pasuk talking about? In the basar, taiva, if it's talking about ordinary meat. Pasuk says when Hashem gives you, you'll go in Eretz Israel, and you have a lot of land in Eretz Israel, you can eat whatever you want. That's what it says. I know I'm allowed to eat regular meat. So this pasuk is not needed for that. Kisava, nafshecha, whatever you want. That's what the pasuk is talking about. Right? Not psuli hamikdash, it's talking about all basar chulin. By the way, because in the midbar, okay, you were not allowed to eat regular meat. Did you know that? You had to bring it as a korban. If you wanted to eat meat, you have to bring it as a korban. It means basar taiva was asur. When you come into Eretz Israel, wherever you want. Tel Aviv, eat. You meet in Tel Aviv.
Before you were in Eretz Israel, when they were in the midbar, you had to eat.
If you were in the midbar, which means before you came into Eretz Israel, right? You have to bring your animal to the Mishkan, make it, bring it as a korban, and all the laws of korbanis now is upon you. When you come into Eretz Israel, you want to eat something in Tel Aviv, a hamburger, frankfurter at the ballpark. If it's kosher, you can do it, no problem. So what is this pasuk telling me? That says, B'chol avas nafshecha tizbach v'yochalta basar. In ba'achilus kachim, is it talking about achilus kachim? Well, then I can't eat it wherever I want. We know the halacha is about that. Kiyim b'mokoyim, shom taleh. That's a pasuk that says you have to come to the place, whatever it is, achilus kachim, it has to be only in the mokim in the Beis Hamikdash. So it must be that the pasuk is talking about Ella, the psulei hamikdashim. It's talking about psulei hamikdashim. Shenivdu, that you were part of it. Tizbach, you could slaughter it below giza, and you can't shear it. You can only slaughter it. The asur giza, the avoda, you can't use it anything besides slaughtering it and basar and eating it below the avoda, basar below cholav, and it says you should eat the meat, meaning, but you can't drink the milk. The achalta, you should eat it. Lola klavecha, but not your dogs. Which Mr. Tober has a problem with that, because what are you going to do with the dog is right next to you? That's his problem there.
Mrs. Who?
Huh?
For him,
You
his
came
dog.
late, you missed out. Rabbi Tober has a kasha, on this, what are you going to do with dogs over here? What if you have a dog, poor dog? Okay, Hilkach, what should you do? And Hilkach Osir La'aviyah. Because of this duo type of an animal, which has both Kedusha and it's chulin, you're not allowed to breed it at all. Now, with a regular animal, I understand why you're not allowed to. With a regular animal, because the regular animal is complete chulin, and this animal is partly kachin. But even if you do it with psulei hamikdashim, another psulei hamikdashim, right? It's also mishum klayim, because you're over the issue of klayim. Shemarvia chulin al kachin, o kachin al chulin. I don't think he means or, one or the other. It means both. This one is a chulin and kachin. That one's is a chulin and kachin, right? So the chulin is going with this part of the kachin, and this part of the chulin is going with the other part of the kachin, so you can't do it.
But that's still one psul.
That's one psul. What does that mean? It's one psul. I have two animals on which I am being over the yisur of psul of client.
Right.
So you have a lakishtayim. If you do it with another psul and mikdashim, you'll be lakishtayim. You hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you mean to say? I don't know. What
Okay,
you're
so
talking
under
about.
Klayim is not only limited to What's this climb? The chulin and
Chulin and the kachim.
where
Chulin
do you
of one,
find such a
kachim of the
concept
other.
that chulin and kachim is climb?
Oh,
We know that climb is limited to certain
Excellent,
cases.
excellent question. It's the Rivon's kasha at the end of this Rivon.
Ah,
The money, and the same thing applies by leading an animal of psulim and goshen. Afilu manig in minoi. Even if you take another animal with it, that's the same as it. 2 oxen. One ox is a psulim and goshen, and the other ox is a chulin animal. Here, it's awesome. Va'afilu manigum if they atzmai. And even if you make one animal, which is psuli hamikdashim, work by itself, yeah, that's the Yisur of Shor v'Chamor. Right? If they answer. By the way, you also have the Yisur of doing avoida with a psuli hamikdashim. We said before, you're not allowed to do avoida with psuli hamikdashim. You're only allowed to shecht it and eat it, if you remember, right? But he's saying that besides from that, you also get the Yisur of Kalayim. They answer, Chulin the Kachim, who? The Chayim Mishim Klayim. And Yechai because of Klayim, the Charisha, which means if I'm working the animal by plowing, so I'm doing a Shor v'Cha lo Sachar, Shor v'Cha more. Here it's lo Sachar, Kodesh with Chulin. Do Atzma Klayim. It itself is Klayim. This one animal is Klayim. She'osir la'kos of Shnei Gufim. But now Taisus asked the kasha of Reuven. Lo shamati, but he didn't hear what Reuven said. Raya. Lo shamati raya. But I don't know any proof. But hold on. The chulin the kachim is kalayim zebrazeh. Whoever heard of such a thing? Where one animal, which basically has a halachic din of 2 animals, is considered kalayim. Kalayim is 2 physical different animals, right? The dover Teimahu. And this is just amazing that the Gemara makes a statement like that without telling us what the source is. Well, we will find by learning this Taisus what is the source of an animal like Psulim Midoshin, which has both Psulim, both Kachim and Pulin in it, that itself is called a Klayim animal. That's it. Taisus started Shaharei Gufech or Vasoa Kosim Beis Gufing. You have the Taisus, second from the last. Hakuntris.
what's it? Shari Guf Echad? Okay.
Right? Hare Kuntris Pirish. Obviously the word Kuntris does not mean Rashi, right? It means it was written on the side, and probably the Rivan just continued the Pirish on the side of the Gemara like Rashi did. So Kuntris Pirish, Ki Girsosai. He learned like his Girsa was. Shari Guf Echad, Vasoa Kosim Beis Gufim. Do we have that lashon in the Gemara? We don't even have that lashon in the Gemara.
No, it's not.
Oh yeah, in the end, right. Guf echad, vaso akosiv ishnei gufim. Yeah, okay, that's the girsa of Rashi. That's it. Rabbeinu Tam, Pirish B'inyan Acher. Kimin choyme. Kimin choyme means like a perfect fit with the pshat. The chsiv bei ke tzvi v'cha'ayo. Like Psuli Mikdashim, it says you can eat it like the deer and the ram, which means like ordinary animals. That would be the simple shot of the pasuk. But it gave you examples, like a deer, like a ram. You can eat it like regular animals. Oh yeah, but why did it mention 2 animals? Right? Could have said kitzvi. That's all. What do you have? Kitzvi. Shehem beis minin means you can eat it. You could treat it like it would be 2 animals, a tzvi and an ayil. Together, it's a tzvi and an ayil. Right? And that's the pshat in the pasuk, that it's klayim, because the pasuk is meramis for you that there's a din klayim. Not like Rashi doing pshat, that it has 2 different dinim, right? It has a dinim of kedusha, dinim of chulin. That's the Rivon's pshat. But the Rabbeinu Tam's pshat is because the pasuk says it has a din like it's tzvi and an ayil, right? Tzvi and ayil, 2 different species. This animal has a din like 2 different species. It's like a xeris hakosim. Ubezeh perish miyushav odam in bebechoros. Tloset tzvi va'ayil ksivi. By Echad L'Chad Rabbi Yitzchak, it says 3 times it says Tzvi va'ayil in the Torah where it gives examples of Tzvi and Ayil together. One is like Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak is the one who says you can't work with one animal, Psuli HaMikdashim, you'll get Malchus, because it's good for Echad V'Osah, Kosek V'Shnei Gufim. You hear? So there, one is like Rabbi Yitzchak. Echad L'Chad Rabbi Hoshia, whatever, Rabbi Hoshia, right? Upirish HaKodris, Lois Parish, the Milsei. And Rashi did not explain where do you get this in. He says Tema, but the Hashtanicha or the Bitzog Rabbi Yishia Dahacha. Now it's good. He says he doesn't know where this Rabbi Yitzchak or Rabbi Yishia is. He says, but now we have this is Rabbi Yishia here, and it's Rabbi Yitzchak, and it means these things you learn out from the fact that it says Sviva Ayil. So it's like a Beferish in Gemara, according to Rabbeinu Tam. Okay?
Why would I think? If I look at the Rivan, I don't think it's shver. The 2 minim are. It's not an aisle and it's sweet, right? It has 2 things to it. It's the.
Yeah, but we don't find anywhere in the Torah that there's called kalayim, something which has 2 dinim in it. That's a new din of kalayim and halacha. So, kalayim means you got physical differences in the animals. You can't mix breed it. But to mix breed something which has 2 halachas in it, you follow? That's a big kiddush. And therefore he says, where, you have to have a raya and a gemara to that. You can't make that up as you go along.
So when it says kitsi,
the raya from a pasuk at least, yeah.
When it says kitsi v'ayil, how it's a.
It says you could treat it as if it would be a tzvi and an ayil.
What
Normally
can you
I would have
treat?
learned shot it means
The psulei
tzvi
mikdashim?
or an ayil.
The psulei mikdashim?
That's right, it's going on psulei mikdashim.
How are we learning it like that?
Because this is the Torah says you could eat it like a tzvi va'ayil. It means treat this thing that you have here as if it would be a tzvi and an ayil.
So the
A
fact
tzvi and an ayil is klein.
Right.
Tzvi and ayil is klein.
So the
And
fact-
this is exeris hakosher, that this is also the
the
same
fact
thing.
that it says tzvi and ayil, when it says treat psulei hamikdashim like tzvi and
It
ayil,
means that it's
so
like
it's
it's like a
exeris.
tzvi and ayil, which are 2
so that's how
things
you learn
that
how.
it has klein. That is like
So
klein.
it's
That's right.
exeris.
So it's a pasuk. See, you can't answer kasha once I have a source in the pasuk that tells you that. It's a pasuk, right?
And this pasuk says they're talking about psulei mikdashim.
Yeah, psulei mikdashim. The heter of eating psulei mikdashim because it's tzvi v'ayil. Like you got an animal that's a tzvi and an ayil.
Where-
If I wouldn't have said the pshat, if the Gemara wouldn't say what he said, you learn the pasuk. It says like a tzvi or, and it does not mean or and. Sometimes it means or, right? But the Gemara is darshaning. It means and. This is a tzvi and an ayil.
Where's
Okay.
that pasuk?
That's a good question. You have to find out. No one brings down where that pasuk is.
What's VI?
It's התמיד והטעות, לא? בעצם בדיוק.
Oh, where is that pasuk?
Devarim somewhere.
But that's
Is it Torah?
tzvi v'ka'ayil. Oh, like.
No, it says tzvi v'ayil.
On Devarim, no?
C'est dans une plusieurs fois.
Non, mais.
Okay, if you happen to find it, let us
So,
know.
attends, so the teaching of Rabbi Yitzchak is to take one psul mukdashim and to make him work the land.
Right.
This is the
So really, the word manhig is not correct. That's the next Tosfos. Manhig means to lead. You're not allowed to lead a psuli mikdashim.
okay,
Right?
but over here
That's the
means
whistle.
to do chavisha with him.
That's well. He brings out another something else too. You know, it could be do work with it with the farisha. That's the example that the Rivan gave. And Tosfos brings out another possibility.
But his teaching is you chayav shtayim, or just you chayav lukid once,
Only one.
only one.
Oh, yeah, I said Yechaya also because of Avoida, but Avoida, I'm not sure that's a lav. You see, it's a lav upon the klal aseh. Because suppose it says you can do whatever you want, shecht it and eat the meat. That's what it says in
And
the Torah.
Allah Bechla says
It's an aseh. That's right. You don't get malchus for that
So the teaching over here is malkut.
once. That's what you get malchus because you got client. V'davka in Moshe Hashor Mosui, right? There's a shore that has a burden on it. The gufay. Ava below hamshocha, but if you don't pull the animal, ain't like a bahan hoga, right? The in lo kain lo oilam lo yuchlu lahanig shor psule hamikdoshin imokam acher. If it would be also to pull it, comes out every shore psul mikdashim. You can't move it from one side to the other. Can't be that's what he means. It means that if it has a burden on it, when you pull it, what are you doing? You are working with the animal. You're making it carry a burden, right? That would be it. That's why you'll get malchus on it. Okay, that's the Taisus. Okay, so we have two Taisus over here. One Taisus explains what the makor from the Torah is, that it's considered two different animals, tzvi va'ayil, and the second Taisus says that, of course, on Hoge is not an Isser to pull up Psulei Mikdashim. The Isser pull up Psulei Mikdashim while it has a burden on it, so you're making it work, and you're doing a Maisa, for that you get malchus.
You bet.
Oh, you have the source right there? From your days?
Where did you find them?
Oh, very hard in the head.
And it also happens to be written on the side of the Gemara. So Perigud days, what is it? What was it? What
You
pasuk?
should have it's an application.
You have the pasuk?
Tedvav.
Tet Vav. Okay, here it is.
What's that?
Give him up, Moshe Yivchai Hashem Be'achot Shvatecha Shom Talel Uzecha. You can only bring the korbanis only in the place where Hashem will say, V'shom Taseh Kol Asher Anochi Mitzavek, and there you should do everything that I commanded you. Rak, V'chol Abbas Nafshechot Tizbach, V'chalto Bosor K'virkas Hashem Elokecha, Asher Nosan L'cho. Okay, V'chol Mokem Asher Tireh.
ככל שעריך תריב הטהור יאכלו כציבור כאיה.
Okay. What does it say? Asher nosan l'cha b'chol sharecha, t'v'atorah yochlenu, katzvi v'cho ayol.
Now, how do we see from over there that Psul Mukdashim is asur?
That what is?
That Psul Mukdashim.
Oh, the pasuk is talking about Psulim Mikdashim. The Rivan says, of course, the pasuk, it's an extra pasuk. We already know all the dinim, what it is to eat things in the base in Eretz Yisrael, right? If it's a korban, you got to eat it by Yom Mayid or whatever. If it's not a korban, we already have a pasuk that it's mutter to eat, right? So this pasuk must be telling you that. Let's see what Rashi, if he brings it down.
And this was Rabbeinu Tam proof that
Right.
all that pasuk is an extra word.
That's correct. Well, the Rivan also said that this pasuk, the Rivan brought that this pasuk is talking about Psulim Mikdashim. That's everyone holds, right? The Rabbeinu Tam says we darshan this Gemara from the end of the pasuk, Kitzvi v'cha'ayol, right? But according to Rivan, we don't. There's no drasha tzvi v'ayah. According to Rivan, it's you gave it dinim that have a din of chulin and a din of kachim. How do you see that? It says kizbach, v'achalta, basar. Those are all drashas we learn from there. Tizbach v'lo l'cholov. No, tizbach I mean v'lo l'avoida. V'achalta, that you have to eat it v'lo l'klavecha. Basar v'lo l'cholov. So there's drashas for each one of these three words, right? So that's the drashas that tell you that you're allowed to eat it, chulin. But you're not allowed to do any work with it, kosher. Ochalta, you are allowed to eat the meat, right? Ochalta, you can eat it. But what do we learn from that? But not your dogs. It's kosher. Yeah? Basar, v'lo cholov. So you see this kosher and yet you're allowed to eat it wherever you want. Kosher, chulin. That's the problem. That's the Rivan. The Rebbeinu Tam says, no, the raya that it's considered two things is not because it's kosher and chulin, that's the problem. Because the Torah said, katzvi v'cha'ayol. It has a din like it has two animals in. It saves the cost of kind of a thing. Okay? Let's take a look at the Rashi, by the way.
The other pasuk is in Tedvav Chavbeis.
Well, let's use this one first. Let's see the Rashi. Rak b'chol avas nafshecho. B'mei ha'kosher medaber. What is the Torah talking about here? That you're allowed to eat it is the way you want. In the basar taiva, if it means it's a regular basar that you want to eat secular for eating, right? La tiru lahem below hakravis emurim, that you could eat regular meat without bringing up parts of that as a korban. It's another place. It says, Ki Yaakov Hashem Elokecha es gevulcha. When the Rebbeinu Shalom broadens your boundaries, v'amarita, and you say ochla, achela, ochla, whatever, basar, you say you'll eat it, you can eat it. You got to see the pasuk, see all the all the words, but he doesn't have to bring all the words. There I have a pasuk that I'm allowed to eat meat. So what are we talking about over here? He skips one part of the Rivan that we have, and he ends up with the Maskana. Bekotchim shedochal b'hem mum. This pasuk is talking about kotchim, where a mum happened on it. The Yipodu, it should be redeemed. The Eochel b'chol kol moker. And you could eat it b'chol avas nafshecha. Wherever you want to eat it, eat it. Yochel Yipodu al mum oy. But then he brings another drasha, which is not no gay us, and that is you might think you can be pointed even if that's a temporary mum. That's a mum that was going to go away in a month, right? You might think you're Talmud Loimar, rock. The pasuk says in the pasuk, does it say rock? Rock b'chol avas nafshecha. Rock is a miyut. Only, that means only there's something that you're excluding. And they exclude a mum oiver, right? A mum that's going to only be temporary. That's not a heter for you to be pointed. Tizbach v'achalta, ein l'chol b'hem heter, giza v'cholov. You can only shecht it and eat it. You can't use a giza, and you can't use it for cholov. It's interesting, he brought down cholov on this, so you learn a cholov actually from bosa. It's a little tzaddik. Havim b'cholov is not shego toichal bosa. Mistama einu ela bezvicha. Shirei hakochim chulin yushav bezvicha. Or shemikan she'en lem heter hanoah b'kochim hanifzol ela hanoah abal yidei zvicha. Well, here learns Rabbi because you have to shecht it to eat it. Obviously, it's not milk, because milk you don't have to shecht to eat it. The only heter you have is shechting it and eating it. You hear? What it requires shchita in order to eat it? The meat. That's what milk is not included in that. All right, but the Rivam learns it from the word bosar. It says v'achalta bosar v'lo cholov.
So the milk was derived from that pasuk?
The
Milk.
milk is from this pasuk. The question is which part of the pasuk?
Because normally, how do you know it's not Ever Minachai? Because it said Eretz Chalav Udvash.
Good. So what? That tells you it's mutter to drink milk.
That's how it, and this one tells you don't
It
need to
tells you
shecht
it's
it.
also to drink milk.
Chazak.
Absolutely, I told me about Torah. It means that we don't care as far as Psula Mikdashin. If you're Tameh, even though Kachim you're not allowed to eat when you're Tameh, Psula Mikdashin is no problem. So the Torah is Mata the Achila. If you Shabbat Mekoyach Kachim, you may think it comes from Kachim. You might think, that's your Tameh, you cannot let eat it. Come on, one of the pasuk tells you there's no din of Tumen. Oh, Kitzmi v'cha'ayo. You see, she'ein korban bo mehem. According to him, it's because there's no chiv korban, but you can eat it like a chulin animal. Tzvi, like an aisle, these things, there's no korbanos that are brought from these animals. Yeah? So, but the kashas, why I mentioned two, just give me one example. Kitzvi, right? Why does it kitzvi ka'ayo? So that's what Ben Otam, it's telling you that has a din like a tzvi and an aisle together. Okay. Good, Zehu. That's the drasha. So we have it in Dvar. Good, you think. So here you have a pasuk. If you go through just Mavis Hedra and you don't understand what the Rashi is talking, you don't look at the Rashi. I mean, if you want really Mavis Hedra, you don't know what the pasuk is talking about. The pasuk just sounds like when you come to Israel, eat it, do whatever you want with it. That's what it sounds like. But that's what we're talking about. A special case. Psulei HaMikdash and a new din. It's not mentioned the Feirish in the Torah, but that's the drasha. I don't need it for anything else. That's what Chazal say the pasuk is talking about. Is good. Which reminds me, a shot I don't know why it reminded me of that. A shot came up, I answered that before, in the halachos of listening either. Are you allowed to get married to a lady who is not going to cover her hair or after she gets married? She said, I'll give kosher, I all the toys, I keep all the mitzvahs, everything. I can't cover my hair.
What is it?
When I go out.
Huh? You just said.
What's the shaila? Not mitzad you're not doing anything wrong. You're getting married.
Rabbi, if this question is asu, so a woman is not allowed to get married. All women are not allowed to get married if they don't keep mizot.
True, that's right.
And all the
Here's a shaila whether the man can marry this lady. All women are asu, you say?
How all the rabbanim married people?
Oh, that's the kasha. That's another problem, How how is that all the Rabbanim allowed to marry people? And the problem is also that over there's not going to be keep Taras and Mishpacha, so the Rav is over Lifnei Iver, yeah? So,
Is he?
huh? He's
I mean,
not,
it's
you know
so
why?
simple.
Because
So
it
for
was
the-
a
they
nose
want-
one can.
No, they wanted it matrid because the Rav is not the one who marries them, it's the Adam. You see, you don't need the Rav. Everyone thinks, he doesn't do nothing. The two Adam are the ones that marry the people. So he's not over with neither. But he said it's not a good heter. You know why? Because the guys who get married, they don't know it's the Adam that are the ones that are marrying them. You ask two people that are not religious, right? They're getting married, right? What do they say? Oh, we have to get a rabbi to marry us, right? They think it's the rabbi. So therefore, this rabbi, by marrying them, is causing them to be married, right? So, you know, you're here.
They get the rabbi and then they have Pasal Eidah.
But I'll tell you the Kiddush though.
Yeah, but
Most
normally,
of them got married.
by us, normally, the Rav said, first you have to go learn the Torah Mishpacha.
Oh, that's why Sfardim is no kasha. They make sure that everything's okay. By Ashkenazim, you know, it's all in America. This is always going on for 30, 40, 50 years, you know. I mean, you get married, yeah, you go to, of course, even the ones that are traditional, you go to an Orthodox rabbi to get married, right? But that's it. Did you go to the mikveh? No, they don't even ask them the question. The real frum they do, you know, and after that, they're not going to go to the mikveh again. So what's the heter? You ready?
No.
A person who doesn't keep Torah mitzvahs, even if he's a teenager nishma, which means that they're not responsible, they never learned about it, but they're not, they don't keep the mitzvahs. They don't. Why? Because they never learned it, and they don't keep the mitzvahs. There's no issur in Messiah Lidvar Avei. Yeah, it's a shach. He says a mummer, and mummer doesn't only mean a mummer, means even if he's not his fault, but he doesn't keep the mitzvahs. Not his fault. He's not a chicha b'mitzvahs, that's all. Right? So, I don't say that it's much to be oikel liftei iver. See, liftei iver, there's no issur anyway. Why is there no issur liftei iver? Liftei iver is only when he can only do this issur because of you. Then there's liftei iver. Over here, if I don't marry them, what do you think they're going to do? They'll marry somebody else. That's all, right? So therefore, I'm not over lifnei iver. I'm Messiah lo iver avera. I'm helping him do the avera because I'm the Rav. And they're not going to get married until they get a Rav, and I'm the Rav. I'm being the Messiah l'dvar avera, right? But if he's a mummer, he doesn't keep mitzvahs. There's no issue of Messiah l'dvar avera.
But what we said,
That's a big heter, and it's never a heter, you know, that people that...
You said they're going to keep some of the
yes, they
mitzvahs.
said they're keeping all the mitzvahs, just not
Everything
covering
except
the
for-
Eidah.
Oh, therefore we're talking about that. That's a case of how you, that was answering Nissim's question. How you want to get married to anything? People are not from, they're going to
General.
rabbis, they're getting married, what are you going to do, you know?
But in this specific case, you
In this case, the husband was asking, right? The husband, should I go marry this lady? Yeah? I mean, I'm the one who's being goyim that she should go ahead and be like,
No,
If
but,
he's-
but,
if he's-
but in that case, she said, "I'll keep all the mitzvahs. I'm not covering my."
that's
hair."
right. So she's called, she's not keeping mitzvahs. She is keeping mitzvahs.
Right.
Yeah?
So then, in that case,
Yeah, but
you shouldn't be able to marry her then.
And should not be able to marry her, you're right.
yeah,
The
but
Rav Paskin not allowed to marry her. I mean, it was a Shais and Shuvas, they just went and quoted.
I mean, if the guy it's a safek by him, so he's holding the same madriga as his wife.
What's the subject?
If for him, should I marry her or not? I mean, you're not showing your own head.
No, I want to marry her. I have a shidduch where I want to marry her. Now I don't want to do an issue. So I'm allowed to marry this lady. She tells me for sure she's not going to cover her hair.
But don't you like
I said,
give?
he's not in the level.
Who's
Himself,
in the
he's not at the level.
Oh, what are you talking about? I'm on the level. I'll keep the mitzvahs, everything, whatever. And she's going to, I can trust her. She's 100% kosher, you know, and everything. She just doesn't want to cover her hair. By the way, in the 40s and the 50s, Orthodox Jews from Rabbonim, their wives didn't cover their hair. That's what it was. I'm telling you, it's like that. Nowadays, you guys are born from communities. My time, from people, their wives didn't cover their hair. So, but someone asked the Shaila, and the Rav says you shouldn't marry her. And why? Not because you're doing anything wrong. You're okay. You're Messiah, lo iver aveira. you're causing her to do an Avera by marrying her. Until she gets married, she's single. She can go around there, no problem. No issue.
What I don't understand is,
What don't you
no,
understand?
I understand, but like, don't we
It's Mariano.
think people aren't,
It's Mariano.
you're making him usher for an Avera that he may do. You're,
She is not may do. She's for sure going to do it.
how do you know?
What, she's going to stay in the house for the next 50 years?
Maybe
Like,
you give her the benefit of the doubt that she's gonna have a change of
She
heart.
says! But right now, I'm going to marry her right now. She can change her heart from today till tomorrow.
Rabbi, he said something good. He said that she's gonna get married with someone else, and she might get divorced also.
She get back, somebody else takes off the Yisur Lifnei Iver. It doesn't take off the Yisur Messiah Lo Iver Aveir. Someone who's doing an Aveir, I'm not allowed to help him.
If I don't marry her, she's gonna get worse.
Oh, that's maybe there's a
Don't marry
heter.
her mom.
That's a heter. That might be a heter. But why will it get worse? She wants
Huh?
to keep Torah mitzvahs.
Not because of me, she wants to do that. Well,
No,
without
no,
me,
no.
it's gonna be,
No. But
She's from the street.
Nothing to do with it.
listen to what you're saying. I'm allowed to marry a lady who really would be fried. She wouldn't want to, but because of me, she's keeping the mitzvahs. She's just not going to keep the one about the shekel. That's the girl you could get married to. But a real frum girl lady, just one thing, she's not going to be mocked. That one you better keep away from house. Okay. Shall we continue? Okay. Luckily,
how
we don't
does
have
this-
these instructions, but I'm telling you,
How does this fit in with Psilei Mikdash?
it just came to my mind. By the way,
No,
Rav Shalom
mixed breed.
Shvadron once
Mixed
said, I don't know if you ever heard Rav Shalom Shvadron speak. He probably never did because you were maybe 4 or 5 when it was Nifter. Rav Shalom, here's the Maggid says, you know, all that. The Maggid is Rav Shalom Shvadron. He stayed by Rabbi
It's like wrong.
Krohn, right? He stayed by Rabbi Krohn's father, like 6-7 months out of the year because he had to collect money for the yeshivas. So they learned a lot of things from Rabbi Shalom Shvadron. So he wrote this sefer, but covered him, the Maggid. He has a whole set of the Maggid says, the Maggid. The Maggid was Rabbi Shalom Shvadron, okay? He once said, I heard him speak a few
Just to
times.
get it clear, he wrote it about his father?
The Rabbi Shalom Shvadron used to stay in his father's house when he came to America.
Pesach
No,
Chrome.
Pesach Kroh's
Krohn's
father, okay.
That's right. So he came there, so he learned the things a lot from him. He held him for a Rebbe, for a Rebbe of his, whatever, okay? So I heard him speak. He used to speak for 2 or 3 hours. And you stand there glued to what he was saying. This Shalom Shvadron. He was an excellent, he was a comedian. He was so funny, you have no idea. Like the funniest guy in the world. And he used to listen, he used to laugh and everything. And he spoke about why he used to be so funny. He said he once asked the Chazon Ish, he says, am I allowed to go ahead and speak and, and say jokes and they should be laughing and this and that? He says, listen, there's 2 people, the guy had 2 kids. This is what the Chazon Ish said. The guy had 2 kids. One of them, they're both sick, both very sick. So when he goes over to him and he says like this, if you don't take your medicine, I will give you such clip. I'll hit you so hard, you'll, so he like, gave him the medicine. The other one, he says, oh, he put the medicine in. So the other kid says, me you threaten and him you tickle. How come? You have seichel. He doesn't have any seichel. Him I have to tickle. He says, now the audiences that I have, he says that you're going to be talking to, you don't have enough seichel. You'll tell them there's a Gehenna. Gehenna. But just don't Gehenna. It's hot. It's hot. They'll laugh and they'll believe. They open their mouth. I can put their medicine in there. That was a Marshall Shlomo. It had nothing to do with what I'm about to tell you about Shalom Shvadron. He used to say when he used to speak for 3 or 4 hours, he used to say, something just came to mind. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But I was makabel from a makubal that if while you're speaking something comes into your head and means mina shamayim, the audience has to hear what you have to say. He said that's why he said that.
Was he Sephardi?
No.
He was out of smart. I once said he came here once, Montreal. So I was then I was teaching for the seminary. So he asked me, please, I have to now talk to the girls in Beis Yaakov, So from the entrance of the auditorium till the stage where he was speaking, he had to walk about, I don't know, maybe 50 feet, 70 feet. He says, do me a favor, I'll hold your hand, right? But I'm gonna keep my eyes shut. If you could just take me to where I'm supposed to speak. Yeah, and the whole time his eyes were closed, and when he spoke, his eyes were closed. He spoke, and then I had to take him back outside that way.
When he spoke, his eyes was closed?
Yeah, yeah. He didn't look at the audience at all. Never. I once had him at my house because he was this in Cleveland. In Cleveland, I had an apartment in the dormitory because I was a dormitory supervisor. So he stayed in the dormitory when he was going around collecting whatever. So he came to the house, so we offered him like tea or whatever it is that he wanted. He came in, and my wife said, unbelievable. He said he never looked in my direction. Whenever he spoke to me, Yashikoya the Rebbetzin, like here's the Rebbetzin, Yashikoya the Rebbetzin for this wonderful tea that you're giving me. I'm very makir toiva. And my wife said I felt mechubed like anything.
Wow.
The way he did it. Yeah, he wasn't even looking in that direction. Tell you one story. So I went collecting with him once. So I went collecting. So this guy, he went to a wealthy guy. And he says he wanted to give him I asked him for a certain amount of money, whatever is for his yeshiva. So the guy said, look, showed him pictures on the wall. He says, you know how much expenses I had this year? Look, this is a bar mitzvah of my grandchild. You see that? You see this one? This is a bris by another son of mine. Right? Had a baby. That's the bris. And this one over here, this is a pidyon a ben from my youngest son, And this is a picture of a chasana of my son. So you know how much expenses I had? So you know what he told him? He just said two or three words. He said, shh, he's listening. Like you're complaining about all these things of money? Shh. You'll make it that you won't have any more expenses. You be careful what you complain about. The guy gave him a big nadova with that one. All right. See how much I'm happy that it came into my head. You see, you got all these things now. Yeah. Beautiful.
That was a good story.
What?
Stories?
No.
Goes by the way when he used to come for Purim, by the way, in the yeshiva.
That's all done?
Huh?
That's all
Shlomo Salad used to come in the yeshiva in Cleveland, in Purim. I have a picture of him speaking. I have that picture actually. He's speaking. He's going, this is the picture, And you see the Rosh Hashivas. My Rosh Hashivas are looking at him. Like this is so interesting. He's such an interesting person to listen to. He used to act out all the things that he would say. He was
recorded?
Huh? Of course it was recorded. Do I have I don't know if I have any recordings of him. But there are definitely recordings of him, definitely. Rabbi Cohen has a whole list of them. If you go ask Rabbi Cohen, he'll get it for you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of recordings. No, but it's Yiddish.
Everything.
See, it's Israel. Yeah, it's Yiddish. He didn't speak in English. But even if someone translates it at the time, you'll feel that same thing when he's talking, because it's not what he said, it's just how he said it. He was the funniest guy in the world. Anyway, what are we holding over here?
Rabbi, we have to do Chazar Vodat Rashi.
Chazara! A new Gemara. Okay, you can do that, fine. But it's a very short Chazara, please, okay? It's only about 4 or 5 lines in the Chazara and a little bit of Rashi over here. Fine, then we'll go to this Ray. But I want to start the Rebbe. We're spending too much time on this little piece of Gemara. My fault, because or maybe Reb Shalom Shadron's.
No, it was the Lifnei Iver.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so if you pair up, or if not, I'll be glad to do it over myself, whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna go with you.
Yeah.
You should really do by weeks, by the way. Weeks. This is your week with it. This is your week, and that's it. Not every day. How should we do it?
Meaning the Charusas.
Yeah, the chavrusa. For a week, that's your chavrusa. That's after you switch around after the.
Okay.
We don't have that many people to do it with, But see, in Lakewood they do that. There's something called the chavrusa day. Do you know that?
Yes.
Oh,
I've never had it.
you never had it.
I wasn't in Lakewood, but they had it in the mirror too.
Yeah, but Lakewood is well known.
No,
for
Lakewood is like I see pictures of it.
people talking, making up chavrusas and this and that, for this man. The day before this man, you come and you have chavrusa day, where everyone's making up chavrusas, it's like you think it's a shuk, No, I don't know. I'll see, I already promised him, but all right, anyway. Okay, let's go, hurry, because we only got about 10 minutes to review this Gemara, that's it. Read all this.
Sefa,